So we're pretty much finished up for today. I think tomorrow we're gonna go over to the junkyard. Oh yeah, we also got that front plate mounted. That's sweet. We gotta fix one of the blinkers, but we gotta go over to the junkyard and see if we can get a passenger side door if the other one's rust free and straight. Because this one, it's hard to see on camera, is destroyed. So this morning, Travis and I are stopping by our local junkyard. I've pulled a couple parts off this truck. What I wanted to show you guys is, although we've already gutted almost everything we need, we may come back for the store later. They wanted like $100 for it. It's got a dent in the bottom, so I'm not too sure if we're gonna use it just yet. But we copped some door panels. They have a slight tear. This headliner isn't bad, but I think we're gonna use the cardboard backing headliner in his truck anyway. It's a lot easier to work with. You know, it's a little like messed up over here. It could probably be straightened out, but I'd just rather deal with the cardboard headliner. Right now, we're taking out the sun visors. The other one's right here. And I'll show you guys the other parts. We grabbed some interior trim. We got another piece of plastic. This one has the holes for the odometer, rollback, and everything else. But we're going to use it for now. It's a lot better having those two small little holes in the crack. So we're going to take that. So right here, we have the HKS air filter set up. So I'm going to cop that. I think that's cool. We're going to leave the filter. We'll just buy a new one. Sadly, it didn't have the cap that says HKS, so we'll have to order one of those too. But I think that would possibly go in the red truck. We'll see. These are the door panels, though. They're not terrible, you know, a little bit of TLC, and they'll be perfect for that black truck because on the black truck, on the driver's side, the outer gasket is all torn up. So air is basically just like flowing in and coming right out of these holes when the window's up. Air just flows in front of the window down here, and you get really cold like sitting there. So the door panels will kind of work as an insulator. Pretty excited. We've got quite a bit off this truck. Sadly, this truck has definitely seen some better days. But yeah, I'll see you guys back at the house after we finish looting this truck. So there's also this Nissan Hardbody sitting over here. It used to be up towards the front, and I guess they moved it. We thought they scrapped it. So we got the chrome door handles and the whole locking assembly because the other door you can't lock, this and that. It's a whole process. So we took out all the guts, the whole locking assembly, the chrome door handles, which we were going to buy anyway, and I got a two-wheel drive air filter, which is awesome. It sits lower than the four-wheel drive, so that can go on the purple truck too. So pretty successful day. We're going to go up front and try to get all the parts. Here's a full pan of just some of the parts we got. Those I'm actually putting in my 91 purple truck. We got to clean up these door panels before they can get in the truck. They're a little gross, but they'll be nice. We got the sun visors to put up, so that's going to be sweet. New ashtrays, a new vent for the driver's side. Hopefully that fits in. We got the locking mechanisms, the chrome door handles, the kick panels, and another door panel. So we'll start popping this stuff in the truck. All right, so first things first, I'm going to have Travis take out the gauge cluster so we can just swap out the broken plastic for now. We still have a lot of work to do to figure out why the speedometer's not working, but we're just going to swap out the cracked glass for now. So to start, actually, we're going to start with the passenger side because we don't even have a door handle on the side. We're going to get the new door handle on there, and we're going to swap out the whole mechanism. We have a key that goes with the lock now. So basically to start, you have this little clip that sits holding the lock in place. We got to pull this out this way. Once that's out, we're going to pop off that little green clip. It's going to push to one side or the other, and I'm going to feed the lock outside of the door. All right, so we've removed that metal piece out of that green clip. Now we can just feed this right outside of the door. A little bit of a struggle, but it's out. Now we have a bolt, a 10mm bolt we got to take out right here. It's the rear window track. We're going to slide it forward and take out these 3 screws. We're also going to take out this screw and this screw, open the handle, and you can pop this little latch off. And then what's going to happen from here is, this is a two-wheel drive 91 pickup. So the door panels only ran up to right here. They were like half carded. The 97s come all the way up and around and have a gasket for right on the interior as well. So with that being said, the half doors, the locks only come up so far, as opposed to the four-wheel drive sit up a little bit higher. So it's just easier to change out the whole mechanism. And to unlock this door to start, you had to pull the handle twice and then pop the door to push it open. It was a whole mess. So this is going to be so much more simple. All right, so we just put the new screws in for the new mechanism. Now, there's two 10mm nuts that go on the back of the door handle. I just took them off. That's all that we have left of the door handle. Now, we got this chrome one going on, and I could not be more excited about it. So we're gonna drop that in place and start reconnecting everything. All right, so we're inside the door right now. One of those things you'll notice is I put the lock back in the door and I put the clamp on. This white 90-degree angled piece clamps right back into the lock. And now, I'll take the new key we have. And remember, these doors didn't lock or unlock before at all. So seeing them move was like extremely exciting. That's with the key. So big ups. All I have left is to put this piece back in the door handle to get the door handle to work, and bolt down the door handle and put this piece for the outer window track back on, and we're all set. Now we just got the chrome door handle put on, and this is so nice because, like I said, this truck didn't even have a door handle when we got it. Butter. Next, we're gonna put the door panel in. All it is I just gotta take off the armrest, the window crank. We're gonna put the door panel, it clips, you gotta push down on it first, and then there's all these little clips. We'll push on it. Then we'll take this armrest, put it back on the door, put the two Phillips head screws on. I'll put the interior door handle back on before I put the door panel back on, because there's outer trim that clips it in place, and that's it. We'll have a door panel in. I'll take a video once it's on. All right, so I'll do another walk around, but we did get the door panel in. So now we're gonna change this door handle to chrome and change the whole mechanism. So we actually cleaned up that door panel. You know, there's two like scratches in it, but really not worried about that. It cleaned up really nice. We just got to put the trim ring on the interior door handle. Next, while I'm doing this, Travis is going to put up the two sun visors. They're not going to look too pretty without the headliner in as well, but that would be a nice touch. And we got the non-cracked glassing. Like, that looks beautiful. Like, I am so happy with that. Now our next step is I'm changing out this locking mechanism, and we're going to put the next door panel on. Hey, already that is such a better look. We've got this chrome door handle in. Got to clean up the mess still, but that door panel's in. You've already seen that. And we got this door panel in. Like I said, I got to get the retainer clip for the interior piece, but not too bad. We've gotten the just the sun visors up, and now I'm going to put the kick panels down. All right, so I'm under the truck now. I'm really not going to take too many videos of this because I'm a little limited on time, but just to give you guys a better look, this is the clutch slave, and there's the hose that runs to the slave to a hard metal line. The guy before me was telling me that he thinks it was the hose was stripped onto the slave, and I think air's getting into the line, so I think that's part of our transmission chatter. I'm sure at some point I'll have to pull the transmission anyway, but I'm going to just replace the slave and this hose really quick. So I've been soaking this in PB Blaster for like the last 24 hours. I keep spraying it and spraying it. Hopefully this line comes undone pretty easy. If so, we're in business. I just got to remove those two bolts, remove the line, put the new line on, put the clutch slave on, and bleed it. So what we're going to do now is, this is our clutch slave, that's our new hose, and the line that connects to this hose underneath the truck, it's going to break off. So there's a line that runs all the way up to, I think it's some sort of proportioning valve or something. You can just, it's just this little block right over here, and you can bleed it right in the middle, and then there's a line under it. I already cracked that line before I made the decision to do this, so I'm just going to take that line off down there that runs to the hose, hand it to Travis. He's going to go get a new line from the parts store, and then we'll just rerun it all and bleed it, and we'll be good to go. I cannot wait to start working on this engine bay too. We have so much to come for this. It's gonna clean right up. We've got our new line. We've got our hose. We had to get a copper little gasket to go in between the slave and the hose. So now I just got to bend this hose up, put it on the bottom of that block, refill the reservoir, and bleed the slave all the way at the bottom. I'm not really gonna make this video so much of a how-to, but just to fill you guys in, basically at this point in time, we replaced the line, the hose, and the clutch slave, and it really didn't do what we were hoping it would have done. And obviously I assumed I would have to pull the transmission out of this truck anyway. So the transmission is officially gonna come out of this truck, and we're just gonna try to at least just pull it back a little bit because we have the torsion bars here. So we'll pull it back as much as we can. We're gonna replace the clutch, the flywheel, the throw-out bearing, and whatever else is in there to figure out why it's rattling. So first things first, we're gonna take the drive shaft off. I'm gonna start by taking it right off the differential so I can keep the slip yoke right inside of the transmission. That way it doesn't leak out any fluid. So I'm gonna go do that now. There's 4 bolts that bolted up. All right, so we have gotten all of the bell housing bolts out. We got the starter out. Our starter's disconnected. All the sensors disconnected. Now we have this custom little floor jack kind of thing that we're gonna use to pull out the transmission. I just took the tranny brace out. All we gotta do is pretty much slide the transmission back, and I think it'll come out pretty good. So we got the transmission out. It's actually pretty light. So we kind of manhandled it out of there, and this is what it looks like. So, and we got the there's the brace. This is what it looks like under here before we touch the clutch. I heard it's a new clutch, but looks like we're missing some chunks of metal on it. I could be so wrong, but that definitely doesn't look normal. I don't know. We'll get the new clutch and we'll find out. I figure since we're already here, we're just going to change the clutch anyway. So a little bit more of an update. Our bearing is toast. It's all chipped up and everything. It's not the right size bearing that's in there. We got the flywheel off. So I'm probably going to run you guys into the garage so you can actually get a better look on what we're dealing with. So as you probably saw in my last video, the clutch sits flat, flush right with the flywheel. Then you get to over here, and there's a broken bolt right in the flywheel. You can see it hanging in there. And you can see this is all bent right up. Kind of crazy. Like I said, we have a new clutch, a new flywheel. The retainer clip was missing too. That's another reason why we were getting some noise in there. And I think the center bearing being the wrong bearing is what allowed the transmission to move around and cause us our problems. Here, we'll walk on over to the transmission. Sorry, it's dark in here. I should have turned on the light. I got a new throwout bearing as well. But in there, you can see some lacerations, some grooves. And I think just because it was the wrong bearing and everything else, it allowed it to move, and you know, it shook left and right, and it made those lines. So I think we've got everything figured out. We're gonna start. We're gonna go change the center bearing in the transmission and start putting everything back together. All right, guys, it's super dark out right now, but I just wanted to say, let's go. Like, we got the transmission all in. We put everything back together. There's no more chattering noise. That's a massive plus. You can hear it. Listen how smooth this thing runs. We're about to go take it for our first test drive. Hopefully I don't have to pull the camera back out in like 30 seconds and be like, hey, we broke down. But no, this is awesome. There's literally no chattering noise. Like, this truck is like good to go. I have a couple more videos to make about, you know, just getting this thing to where we need it to be. The tires are showing bends, so we got to put some tires on it next. But this is so hype. Legit, this is hearing this truck start up and no chattering, and the fact that it started and everything went well is so rewarding. So we're gonna go take it for a drive. All right, so the truck's an absolute mess right now. We just pulled the transmission out. We have tools all being stored in here right now, this and that. Right here, we have just a couple small parts. These, actually I'll throw one on right now so you can see, are what clip on to the interior door trim. Bam, just like that. We've got to go wash that up. It's the dome light cap. And then this goes on our mirror, but we're going to have to remove someone, put a hex head 10mm bolt. We're going to have to put 3 regular size screws in there, and then we can put the cap on. And then we have this piece right here, which is just, it's headliner trim for if we had the headliner in, but it's missing here, so I'm going to throw it on anyway. So yeah, we'll get right into that. I'm actually going to paint that piece black, though, for the seatbelt trim. I have the hazards on right now, and you can see only the passenger side is on. So right now what I'm going to do is replace the driver's side. It's just an easy bulb swap. We just got to disconnect these 2 screws right here, which I brought a drill for. Drill's a little dead, but it's going to do the job, hopefully. We'll find out. And then we just unplug the bulb after we get this out and slap in a new one. That's an easy enough explanation for why that's not working. I have the lens right there, the 2 screws out, and there's no bulb. So we just gotta slap one in. All right, so I had to change the whole housing. I couldn't even fit a light bulb in the beginning. So I just swapped out the housing. They're pretty interchangeable. I mean, it was just simple plug and play. So we have this back in. We're gonna pop the 2 screws in and be set to go. Well, all right, guys, I think I'm gonna end the video off here. Thank you so much for watching and following along with the progress. We got quite a bit done in this video, and there is still so much to do. Stay tuned for the next video where we end up getting a problem with the brakes, and I'll walk you guys through that and what we have to do to fix it. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, support the dream, and have a great one. Thank you.